the Dolphins became the first rookie since Greg Cook with the Bengals in 1969 to lead a conference in passing. And Bill McAtee, a week ago at RFK Stadium, he picked right up where he had left off with 5 touchdown passes against the Skins.
And you've got to credit those fine wide receivers. Little guys, Don Shula was telling me that normally he doesn't like small wide receivers, and he's got Clayton and Duper, both of whom are 5'9", but Shula says they have such a tremendous vertical leap, they play like they're about 6'4". They had good games, but the story in Washington had to be the play of number 13, running Don Shula's offense, Dan Marino.
Well, when you set up your game plan and you got Marino as your quarterback, you can do most anything that you want to do.
And what Dan Marino wanted to do was slice up the air at RFK Stadium. 5 times, Marino passes ended with points on the board. It was not to be the highest touchdown total ever produced by a Dolphin quarterback. Thanksgiving Day in 1977, Bob Greasy threw 6 touchdown passes against the Cardinals. But Marino's performance only reinforced the rookie promise of a year ago.
As a junior, he was the most talked about player in the nation. He had 37 touchdown passes. As a senior, he was talked about again as a senior, but the talk wasn't quite as positive. This probably got him ready a little bit quicker for the attention that he gets as a pro quarterback.
A lot of things happened to me and made me successful, like, for example, getting drafted by the Dolphins and coming down here to a team that was in the Super Bowl the year before, and getting a chance to play with some great players, and we had a very good defense, and things work out for me well because of that, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that I was successful last year.
You don't have to get wide open for Marino to fit a ball into a receiver, and that's about the biggest advantage. Sometimes you think you're beaten on a play, and he finds a way to get the ball to you in between a crease or right around the cornerback's arms.
A strong arm, quick release, and intelligence are all ingredients that make a great quarterback, which someday Dan Marino may become. But Dan Marino has another advantage, Don Shula. In last week's 5 touchdown performance against the Redskins, there's no question that Dan Marino was the artist. But Don Shula provided the paint, brush, canvas, and frame.
Shula's play was called Orange. Bring Clayton 85 and Duper 83 to the left side and force the Redskins to bring both cornerbacks to the same side out of position. The speed of Clayton and Duper together forced the Redskins secondary off stride.
And basically that's what happened. They rotated zone that way, and Duper got a good release, and I threw the ball because the safety that was covering that half of the field didn't get over in time, and he made the catch, and he turned on his jets, and he went.
But here could be a conflict. After all, wasn't this the coach sworn to the virtues of the run?
You like the running game. Is it a conflict for you?
I mean, I did. I used to like the running game.
So I take it was no conflict at all with this guy coming in.
I think I've gotten a bad rap on liking the running game because we had so much success in the years with Greasy and Zonka. And when you got Zonka and you got a quarterback like Greasy, it's natural to like the running game. With Marino, we're going to take advantage of his abilities. And with our young receivers, Duper and Clayton, and the people that we have, we want to throw the football around. But I still want to be able to run with it.
Then there is the perception of Marino that in this throwing machine is also an ego as vast as the sky that caresses those passes. Is it ego or confidence?
The cocky is when you don't have the ability to back it up. Marino has all the ability in the world. He can be as confident as he wants to be, and he backs it up. That's the difference.
He's confident. He likes his job, and I think he just has fun out there, and he just goes out there and just tells us, just get open, I'll get you the ball. If I don't, then it's my fault.
Are you cocky?
I don't know. You tell me.
It just puts the ball on the money. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Well, you know what they say, if you can do it, it ain't bragging.
He's got an ego as large as the sky which caresses his passes. You've gone poetic on us.
Well, Robert, sometimes it's important to say something about a guy besides he gives 110%. These guys are a little more complicated than that.
All right. Bob Greasy is standing by at the Orange Bowl, where he will work the Patriots-Dolphins game today with Jay Randolph. Bob, a year ago, Dan Marino was the last of 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Why has he done so much better than the other 5?
Well, Bob, the reason he's done so much better, I feel, is first of all, he's with Don Shula, and Shula has a great way of bringing young players around, and especially quarterbacks. I know I was there with him when he came in. I think another thing is the fact that being drafted late in the first round, you're going to be drafted by a pretty good football team. The Dolphins had been to the Super Bowl the year before. When Woodley experienced some problems the following year, Shula brought him along very confidently and got Marino into the ballgame. Another thing is the fact that when he was at the University of Pittsburgh, he called all of his plays, did a lot of checking off, and had to read the coverages on his own. Today in college football, a lot of the quarterbacks have the plays sent into them, so they're really more like robots. So when Marino came into the NFL, he was calling and reading a lot better than most of the quarterbacks were.
What's the difference between a Dolphin quarterback named Greasy and the present one named Marino?
Well, there's a lot of differences, but I think really the biggest one is Dan drives a Vet. I always drove a Caprice.
And Bob Greasy just may drive that Caprice all the way to the Hall of Fame.